What if I told you there are 5 psychological weapons so powerful that they could make anyone respect you, fear you, and even crave your approval, without ever realizing why? These techniques are not for the weak. They are used by those who command attention, control conversations, and dominate every room they walk into. Politicians, CEOs, master manipulators. But most people have no clue they exist. Today, I'm exposing them. These are not cheap tricks. They are psychological warfare, methods rooted deep in the human mind, bypassing logic and striking straight into the subconscious. If you master these, people will instinctively bow to your presence, follow your lead, and question their own thoughts without knowing why. But pay close attention, because the 4th technique will permanently change how people perceive you. Trick 1. The echo effect, becoming the shadow in their mind. Have you ever met someone who made you feel truly understood? Someone who seemed to read your thoughts, finishing your sentences before you could? That was not luck, it was manipulation. The fastest way to make someone trust you, admire you, even obey you, is by subtly mirroring their words and thoughts. Not in a robotic way, but in a way that makes them feel like they are speaking to a reflection of their own mind. How it works. When people hear their own words coming back at them, something sinister happens. Their brain whispers, "This person is just like me. I can trust them. I like them." Example, imagine you're in a job interview. The interviewer says, "We're looking for someone who takes initiative and thinks outside the box." A weak candidate will say, "I work hard," but someone who understands control, they say, "I couldn't agree more. Taking initiative and thinking outside the box is something I live by." Do you see the difference? You're not just agreeing, you're reinforcing their own beliefs, making them feel seen, heard, and subtly bending them to your will. Trick 2. The 2-second rule, the pause that makes them tremble. Weak people fear silence, strong people weaponize it. Most people rush to fill every gap in a conversation, terrified of appearing uncertain. But those who hold power, they let the silence suffocate their opponent. How it works. When someone asks you a question, you pause. 2 seconds. Just long enough for the air to feel heavy. Just long enough to make them squirm. It forces the other person to focus on you, to lean in, to wait for your words like a command. It makes you seem unshakable, untouchable, in control. Example, if someone asks, "What do you do for a living?" you don't blurt out an answer like an eager child. You pause, hold eye contact, then say, "I build things that change lives." Now, they need to know more. They need to chase you. This technique is used by world leaders, high-stakes negotiators, and interrogators, because silence is not the absence of power, it is power. Trick 3. The unfinished sentence trap. Make them hang on your every word. Have you ever noticed how the most captivating speakers never quite say everything? That's not an accident, it's a technique, it's control. How it works. When you start a sentence but stop before completing the thought, the human brain panics. It needs closure, it begs for resolution. And in that desperation, you become the center of their world. Example, someone asks, "Why do you think most people fail in life?" A fool gives a full answer, but a master lets them suffer. You lean in, lower your voice and say, "It's not really about failure. It's about something much worse." Then silence. Their mind spirals. They lean in. They beg to know what comes next. And now you own them. This technique makes you magnetic, addictive, impossible to ignore. When used correctly, it will make people think about you long after you've left the room. Trick 4. The one-word shift. How to shatter egos. Without lifting a finger, what do you do when someone mocks you, challenges you, disrespects you? Most people argue, defend, get flustered. Weakness. The powerful do something else. They say one word. How it works. When someone tries to challenge you, you don't react emotionally. You don't fight. You don't defend. You simply look at them and say, "Really?" And then silence. Now they have to explain themselves, justify their own words, scramble for footing as their confidence shatters. Example, someone sneers, "Oh, so you think you're some kind of expert?" You don't argue, you don't prove yourself, You just smirk and say, "Really?" Watch them unravel. This technique is used in debates, in power plays, in boardrooms and battlefields. It flips the pressure. It makes them question themselves. It puts you in control. Trick 5, the Inception technique. Make people believe your thoughts are their own. This is the final and most dangerous technique. If you master it, you can manipulate anyone. How it works: instead of forcing an idea on someone, you plant it. You make them believe they came up with it themselves. And once they do, they will defend it to the death. Instead of saying, "You should do this," you ask, "What do you think would happen if you did this?" Instead of demanding, "You need to change," you say, "Have you ever noticed how successful people tend to do this?" You are not commanding, you are guiding. You are making them think it was always their choice. This is how leaders control movements, how manipulators build empires, how the truly powerful bend reality itself. Now you have a choice. You can ignore everything you just learned, continue being overlooked, underestimated, weak. Or you can use these techniques. You can become the kind of person people are drawn to. Fear and obey. Most people live their entire lives never understanding the psychological forces that control them. They beg for respect, wonder why people dismiss them, never realizing that power isn't about what you say. It's about what you make others feel. But you? You're not like most people anymore. Now tell me, which one will you use first?